options. I mean, he probably did some print, some newspapers, maybe some out of home. There wasn't
Flyers.
TV. There wasn't, I don't even know if there was radio back then, when he said that comment, right? So I can't imagine his head would explode today if he could come back and see the number of channels that brands advertise on, and then to try and figure out where he's wasting his money. This is always the problem that people are trying to solve for. So how does Measured solve for that problem? But before we do that, I want the listeners to understand who this is right for, because I think that fragmentation piece is key. Who is the ideal customer for Measured? In other words, who's going to get the most value out of what you do?
Yeah, so we work primarily with consumer brands. We work with brands in the retail space, so fashion, home goods, lifestyle brands. We work with brands in the technology space, some in financial services, but primarily brands that are selling their products to consumers through channels that they own, whether that's e-commerce, whether that's an app that they own, whether that's first-party retail. That's the problem that we line up to solve. Brands that are spending, generally speaking, north of 10 million per year in paid media are all the way up to hundreds and hundreds of millions of some of the brands that we work with are great fits for Measured, and we're solving the problem we just talked about for brands like that.
Okay, so $10 million, multiple channels. I was thinking, going back to those days where I was buying, it was, we had to come up with a way to measure, right? And so clicks naturally rose up because it was something different, but it was, specific to digital. And my former colleagues and I joke around how we probably made a really big mistake that's still having an impact on the industry, because clicks probably aren't the best or the most fair way to measure success of a campaign, because none of us clicked.